Hi everyone. So today I thought it'd be fun to have a different voice rather than me speaking to you all the time. So I'd like to introduce you to my friend Carla.
Hello.
Carla is on the spectrum and does some of her own blogging as well. So let me just think of a good question. What is something that you're passionate about?
um, oh man, it just changes from time to time, but I suppose psychology and social justice and comedy and stuff, entertainment. I have a creative side, but I also have a pretty strong sense of morality as well, so all that stuff fascinates me.
All right. So what do you like most about being on the spectrum?
Uh, I think I like that a lot of people tell me this, that I have a kind of a unique perspective. Like the way I see things is different to others. I think I like that part of it because it means that people appreciate my thoughts and stuff. And I don't know, it's just nice to, I don't know, and I feel like that it also gives me sort of this ability to focus on things and this kind of unconventional sort of intelligence, I suppose, that I feel like I wouldn't have as much of or have if I wasn't on the spectrum, I feel. So I like that part of it.
And is there something that you wish the world would know about you or about autism?
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that more people were aware that females were also on the spectrum. Like, a lot of people are surprised when I tell them on the spectrum, and they seem like, oh, I didn't know girls could be on the spectrum. It's like, well, yes, I can. Or it's like they're like, oh, really? It's like they don't believe you. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. The psychologist told me there's documents and stuff to say that I do. That's a lot of effort to go to if I wasn't on the spectrum. Like,
Do you feel like you have to prove it to people?
yeah, I do actually sometimes. Not so much now, but in school I actually felt like I had to prove it a lot. Like, because I felt a lot of the boys there was a few boys that I knew that were on the spectrum, and they seemed to behave differently to me. Those particular boys, anyway. And so I felt like, oh, maybe I don't have Asperger's, and I didn't believe it. And then I sort of sometimes would even act out on purpose just to get, I don't know, validation, like to some, I don't know, I just didn't know what to do. So I would sort of act out sometimes and do behaviors that other people did, those boys did, because I thought maybe that's what they want. Like,
So you got so good at pretending to be normal that you decided to pretend to be
yeah.
the Aspie male stereotype.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did. I was good at both. Yeah.
Awesome skills of mimicry
Yeah.
can be used in many situations. And what's something that you've had success with recently?
Well, I could think of a few things, but one of the things that I did was last night, actually. I went to, my sister was singing at a sort of a concert thing, and my older sister, and I was really keen to go see it. She doesn't do it like ever, and I went there, and it was really crowded in a really sort of hot room and stuff. And for the first few songs, like first 2 or 3 songs, I was like, yeah, this is so great, and when she was singing, but then all of a sudden, like, my body was just like, oh, this is too much, and I just felt like I wanted to go home, but to push through it, I was like, oh, I sort of part of me wanted to stay, but part of me wanted to go home because I was exhausted. But I thought, so what I did was I just saw a chair and over in the corner, and I sat there for like the next 2 songs, just like to myself, keep like moderating my emotions and social capacity, I suppose. And like, yeah, I just sat there, and then I was like, after about another 2 songs, like, all right, I'm ready to get up again. So I sort of moderated myself, and that helped me get through without being overly fatigued or frustrated or something from the whole event.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got some pretty good self-awareness there. Has that always been the case? Or have you learned, is there something that you've found has helped you with that?
Well, I feel like I've always had some level of self-awareness. That's probably been one of the standouts of my sort of personality, but I've gotten better over the years each time. Like, there's things that I wasn't so good at, and I wasn't so aware of when I was younger, that I'm more aware of now. But I feel like, I think that the reason I'm mainly very self-aware is because I got told at such a young age that I have Asperger's syndrome. So I got diagnosed when I was 11, so I've known for a long time, and I've pretty much been brought up with it, that knowledge. So I've had a lot of time to work on myself and learn how to manage things that might be difficult for me, and also learned how to embrace myself and stuff, like, and accept who I am and stuff, because sometimes for people it can be difficult to do that. So yeah.
Have you had issues with other people not accepting some of your quirks?
Yeah, I have actually. I mean, mostly, yeah, people, I have like probably, I mean, I have a bit more sympathy for my family. Like, I think I frustrated my family sometimes, like in my little quirks, and I think they found that difficult to understand and sort of be nice about. But I understand they had to live with me like 24 hours a day, so I get that. So, but friends, yeah, like people just being a bit ignorant and not really understanding your behavior, like, or what you mean, or like, or yeah. But I guess it's just, you just have to educate them though.
What do they not understand? What's a example, just so that people can get a glimpse into the kind of misunderstandings that are common for you?
These days it's not so much, but it's like, I think, that's one. Well, because I'm a social person, like, even though I've got Aspergers, I'm a social person. So there's a misconception that people on the spectrum don't like to socialize. Well, I do. I don't do it constantly. Like, I'm not an extrovert, but I enjoy socializing and talking. So people often get confused and associate my mildness on the spectrum with me being able to talk and have a conversation with people. Like, I'm a pretty chatty person and I'm a pretty good conversationalist. The only thing is that sometimes my conversations predominantly end up being existential rather than small talk, and I have a habit of turning a conversation into something really intense and like profound and intellectual, but it just happens. I don't mean it. I just can't think of anything.
And how would you describe your filter?
Oh, I don't have one. I basically don't have a filter. Paul can attest to that.
I can attest to this. Some words that come to mind when describing Carla are hilariously inappropriate sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's really fun if you're up for that, but I imagine that not everyone would be up for that.
Possibly not, no. Probably, I think people take me in small doses. Like at school, people would certainly take me in small doses. Like, they loved me for my jokes and stuff, but I wasn't never really friends. I didn't have that many friends. I just had more people that were my fans, kind of. Like, I was good for jokes, and they loved that, but then they would get sick of it because I didn't know how else to communicate. Like, I found it difficult to communicate with people in any other way besides cracking constant jokes, and people got sick of that. Like, they couldn't take me seriously. But, so that's I think, I could be a bit over the top sometimes, and I think people get a bit, like, exhausted from it. But that's where my good friends come in handy. Like, I've got some really wonderful friends, people that I know who are on the spectrum, and also friends from school who I've hung on to, and they're really understanding and patient, so I don't even have to talk around them if I don't want to, so I don't have to perform, But, yeah, it's really good, though. I can be myself around all the people that I care about.
So just earlier you were telling me that you were struggling a little bit in high school with social stuff. Like, can you tell me about how that's going at the moment?
Well, so the thing is, a lot of the time when people ask me questions relating to what do I find difficult and friendship stuff, social related questions, I usually don't have a present answer. Like, I always sort of reflect on my past experiences in high school, because that was when I had sort of more issues, and like with social stuff and friends and whatever. But like but actually it's just interesting. Like, these days, like, I'm actually doing quite well socially. Like, I don't really have that many problems, like in terms of dealing with people and understanding. Probably in the last year, I've been really doing quite well in the sense. Yeah, I'm aware of myself, and people don't really have a problem with me. I think I'm working with people better, and things are going well.
So what's changed? What are you doing differently?
Well, there's definitely things like, I think there's a few things. So there's like, I'm not really changed. I think I'm just being myself a lot more. Like, I'm not mimicking as much. I'm being myself. I'm being true to myself. but I've also toned down how, like, I'm more sensible now. Like, I think I'm just being myself. Like, I've never felt like myself truly until, like, yeah, in the last year. Like, I've always sort of put on a bit of a show. So it's like nice to feel free. And also, I think I also had mental health issues as well, which probably were interfering with my ability to do things, and that I'm on top of that, so I'm feeling pretty good.
So what you're saying is the more you learn to be yourself, actually the better things were going socially?
Yeah. But there's also, obviously, everyone, like, there's behaviors that maybe sometimes autism, I suppose, can, might make difficult for other people to handle or whatever. And I guess, like, I mean, like, there's things that you have to work on, but it's not like going to it shouldn't be that you change yourself so drastically, like that you can't be you, basically. And that's what I was doing, I think, at school, which wasn't that helpful, and I sort of just pretended there was nothing wrong. But when you embrace everything, it's like everything becomes easier.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear performance and comedy as like a coping,
Yeah.
as like a communication. How do I communicate? I'll just tell a joke. That'll work.
They seem to like it, yeah.
Well, speaking of performing and jokes and stuff, you've got a few blogs floating around out there.
Yeah, I have an endless amount, probably, because I keep changing my mind and starting new things. But my main blog that you should visit is called Endeavour to Live, and it's at Aspie Endeavour, www.aspieendeavour.
I'll put a link.
Okay, yeah.
Say it again though.
It's aspieendeavour@wordpress.com.
aspieendeavour@wordpress.com. I'll put a link, and maybe it's very easy to link YouTube things to other YouTube things.
Yeah.
So do you have a video for that?
I do.
That
I
can
have
link to people?
a YouTube channel, and it's called Aspie Endeavour, and Endeavour to Live. I changed the name, actually. And the video you can watch is Annoying Stereotypes for Aspergers, because that's the most popular one, and yeah, I think people like that one, so I'm gonna say that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we might leave it there. Hopefully you have enjoyed this deviation from me speaking all the time, and I'm hoping to do more of this kind of thing next year, just to keep things a little bit interesting. So yeah, thanks, Carla, for
No worries.
being here, and yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Okay, bye. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for weekly content just like this one. If you'd like to get even more involved, you can join the discussion on social media or support me by becoming a patron. Finally, I value your time, and you'll notice all my videos are ad-free, so please help me to cover what you want to hear by leaving me a comment and telling me what you think. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you another time. Okay, love you, bye-bye.